Thing, what?
It rips top end, like it's, at first I was waiting for it, and then it just hits, and when it hits it freight trains after that. Like third gear right around after $4,000, it just pulls.
Hey, what's up guys? Nick from SOHO Motorsports, and today we're going to be discussing Dylan's 2023 Nissan Z. It's a performance model and a manual. Let's talk about what modifications we did on this and how much power we picked up. All right guys, this is definitely something that's very similar to what you've seen on our channel before. It's a 2023 white performance model Nissan Z, and it is a manual. Let's talk about what mods we put onto this vehicle, what mods it came with, and how much power it picked up. So the vehicle came to us, it had the Z1 intakes, no tune, stock exhaust. So let's see what kind of power it put down. We did a baseline on this vehicle just to see how much power we'll pick up with each individual modification. So this vehicle stock, once again, no tune, put down 386 and 383, which is pretty standard for a manual Z. So after we did that, we installed our SOHO True Dual exhaust and lower down pipes, and also did the Z1 heat exchanger on this vehicle. Now the heat exchanger is not gonna allow you to make more power, it just keeps things more consistent. As you are aware, the stock heat exchanger is probably that big, and you're going from something that big to something that big. So the heat exchanger, what it does is it allows more cooling capacity onto the vehicle and allows the coolant to stay cooler, which in turn allows for more power through the intercoolers. That's the easiest way to explain what a larger heat exchanger does in this vehicle. So once we did our SOHO True Dual exhaust and everything else, we put it back on the dyno, once again with no tune. It put down 403 and 405. So that's gonna be a plus 22 increase in foot-pounds of torque and a plus 17 increase in horsepower. Respectable gains with no tune. Now the biggest thing that you're gonna notice is on this vehicle is when we tuned it. When we tuned it, we were able to make 451 wheel horsepower and 482 foot-pounds of torque. Going to be a 77 wheel increase off the baseline with these modifications, and a 48 wheel increase with the horsepower on this vehicle. So respectable gain. You look at the graph, it looks great. This car performs just the way the graph looks. We'll go for a ride with Osai to see what his thoughts are, because this is going to be his first Z that he's going to drive. So let's see what his thoughts are and go from there. All right, so we're here with my man Osai. This is going to be his first Z that he's driving. You all know him, fastest Z in Charlotte before he was supercharged. Now we'll see when his Z comes back. When is it coming back?
Hopefully soon.
Oh, y'all better watch out. Osai coming back. This is actually, we're driving Dylan's 2023 Nissan Z. We just did our full exhaust on it. He's got the Z1 heat exchanger, Z1 intakes, and we tuned it. So we'll go for a little rip here, see what Osai thinks of the new Z and the power bands of the VR. So interested to see his reaction to it. So let's see what it does. So we're in Mexico. Osai's about to do a rip here. We're about to go third gear. So here we go, third gear. All right, you ready? Go for it. Oh, this thing's moving. Oh, this thing, what?
It rips top end, like it's, at first I was waiting for it, and then it just hits, and when it hits it freight trains after that. Like third gear right around after $4,000, it just pulls.
Yeah, I mean the power band's nice for what it is. Like,
yeah,
I mean that's how it should have come. So I'm gonna get an in-car view of this here.
It rips, like it's really undescribable how to like describe how the power comes in.
Yep.
Like it's almost like sneaks up on you, but
right?
when you're in it, like it
It's smooth.
goes, yeah.
It just comes, and you can tell that it has small turbos, right? Because it wants to fall off as you get closer to the top end.
Yeah.
And then you get back into the power band, and it's like, oh, I'm right there, right?
Yeah.
So
it's definitely, the top end on these cars are amazing. Like, it's one of one for sure.
it ain't no DE though, right?
It ain't no DE, but you know.
But no, man, the Z is definitely something that's underrated from the factory.
Oh yeah.
A lot of guys don't realize that the Z with this platform is definitely the perfect combo. Obviously the VR's had a couple issues and many revisions of the motor and everything, but it's one of those things where it's like, it's a good motor. It's twin
really
turbo,
is.
right?
Yeah.
So imagine this thing like on E. Another 100 wheel
And this is
and
what,
turbos.
450?
It's like 450, yeah.
450, and it feels quick. It feels
Yeah.
quicker than 450.
Yeah, because you have that instant torque on it, right?
Yeah.
So that's what makes it feel fast. So yeah, still stock clutch on it, man. So it's got our SOHO True Dual exhaust on it, which sounds amazing.
Sounds good.
I mean, you've seen it in the videos how it sounds. So it's definitely a setup that a lot of guys are gonna want to go and do because it still retains that factory look, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those where it's like really, really nice, looks good, and it sounds good.
It sounds good. It's not too much, and it's not too little. Like, we're sitting here having a conversation.
And that's the nice thing. Yep, you touched on that, right?
Yeah.
Like having the conversation is the big thing, right? A lot of times you get in a car and you can't hear yourself talk.
Yeah.
So this one, we're cruising, we're talking. So it's got a rumble to it. You know it's there, but it still sounds good.
Yeah, it's not too excessive at all. Like,
Right.
I think this is perfect for the daily driver or for track use, honestly, because it's there when you get on it, but when you're chilling, relaxing, it's pretty quiet.
Yep. And that's the nice thing too. And another thing too, we gotta let these guys know is the podcast.
But yeah, podcast.
You'll be running the podcast,
Oh,
asking
yeah.
questions. So new setup on the podcast, giving you guys a little hint. We're going to be taking the top questions that we receive every week from our clients and answering them with different individuals from the shop, whether it's myself, whether it's Justin, whether it's a fabrication department guy, engine builder, whoever the case may be. We'll also be bringing people in to do interviews as well too. So I'm really hyped for that.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's going to be a really good setup, especially something for the community, right?
Yeah, especially for the community. It gives you guys a chance to voice your opinions on what you guys want to see product-wise, service-wise, just almost everything. It's really for the people and for the community.
For sure. So be on the lookout for that. Once again, we appreciate you watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the bottom and watch out for the next one.